You send a text. The little read receipt pops up. Then nothing. No dots, no reply, just silence sitting there like a verdict. Here's what almost nobody knows. In the 4 seconds after that, silence lands, your brain makes a decision that determines whether this becomes a 5-minute sting or a wound you're still replaying at 2 a.m. 3 weeks from now. And most people never even know that window exists. I'm Jeff, and I spend an unreasonable amount of time studying why the brain does what it does. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what happens in those 4 seconds, and how to take control of them before they take control of you. If you've ever lain awake replaying a rejection, stick around because this is going to change how you experience the next one. And if you want more of these brain breakdowns, the subscribe button is right there. Here's what most people get wrong. They think rejection is an emotion, like sadness or embarrassment, something that just washes over you. It's not. Neuroscientists have found that social rejection activates the same region of your brain as physical pain, the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex. The exact circuitry that fires when you burn your hand on a stove fires when someone leaves you on red. Your brain isn't being dramatic. It genuinely thinks you've been injured. Here's where the window comes in. The instant rejection registers, your amygdala, your brain's built-in alarm system, fires a threat signal before your rational brain even gets a vote. For about 4 seconds, you're not thinking, you're reacting. Cortisol floods your system, your chest tightens, and your brain starts building a story in real time. Think of touching a hot stove. Your hand yanks back before you decide to move it. Rejection works almost the same way, except instead of pulling your hand back, your brain reaches into storage and pulls out a story. They didn't want me. I'm too much. I always do this. And whatever story forms in those 4 seconds gets treated as fact, not as one interpretation out of 100 possible ones. Psychologist Naomi Eisenberger ran a study using something called the cyberball paradigm. Participants played a simple ball-tossing game online with 2 other players who were actually just a program set to eventually stop passing the ball. That's it. Just being left out of a video game triggered the same neural pain signature as a physical injury. Not a breakup, not a job loss, a digital game of catch. That's how sensitive this system is. Your brain does not distinguish between someone hurt my body and someone excluded me. It runs the same alarm either way. So what separates people who bounce back in minutes from people who spiral for days? It's not toughness. It's not personality. It's what they do inside that 4-second window. Resilient people don't feel less pain. They interrupt the story before it hardens into belief. The instant the sting hits, instead of letting the amygdala finish writing the narrative, they do one simple thing. They name what's happening. Not analyze it, not justify it, just label it. This is rejection pain. This is my brain treating a text message like a physical threat. That single act, affect labeling, activates your prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain, and it quiets the alarm almost immediately. Studies on affect labeling show naming an emotion measurably lowers amygdala activity, often within seconds. People who never learn this skill let the 4-second story run unchecked. And because that story was written under threat conditions, it's rarely accurate. It's just fast. Left unchecked long enough, the brain starts predicting rejection before it happens. You stop texting first. You stop applying for the job you actually want. You start rejecting yourself preemptively so the real thing can't catch you off guard. That's not protection. That's your nervous system quietly convincing you to disappear before anyone else gets the chance. Here's the part that changes everything once you know it. Athletes use this before free throws. Surgeons use it before high-stakes procedures. They train themselves to recognize the first seconds of a stress response and consciously interrupt it instead of letting it drive. You can do the same thing with rejection. Next time you feel that sting, a text left on read, someone walking past you at a party, don't ask, "Why did this happen?" Ask, "What is my brain doing right now?" That question alone pulls you out of reflex and into awareness. And awareness is exactly where the 4 seconds stop controlling you. Mastering this window doesn't mean rejection stops hurting. It still will. What changes is how long that pain gets to run your decisions. Someone who catches the 4 seconds feels the sting, labels it, and moves on within minutes. Someone who never catches it can carry the same rejection for weeks, replaying it, building elaborate theories about what it says about them, slowly shrinking their own life just to avoid feeling it again. Rejection isn't a measure of your worth. It's a 4-second reflex running on autopilot. And like any reflex, it can be trained. The people who seem naturally resilient aren't wired differently from you. They just learn to notice the window instead of disappearing into it. Now you know where it is. Next time it opens, don't let your brain write the story alone. If this gave you something to think about, hit subscribe. I break down one piece of human behavior like this every week. See you in the next one.